Hey there, my friends. This is Bill McDonald, the writing doctor here. I'm hoping that all of you are enjoying your summer vacation with your friends and family. Many of you have asked me for a little tour of the binder to see how it's organized now and what skills and ideas are in there. It's called Dear Doc, Daily Editing and Revising of Development, Organization, and Conventions. In the order that you see these blue words here, it's the same order that the binder's in. Penmanship, grammar leading to editing, revising, and essay practice for students that are needing band-aids and surgery. So if you have kids that are already doing well in writing, then you might not need the front part of this binder. You would only want to use the back half, which has the full-length editing and revising passages, and also for student essays. Alright, so basically this binder takes your students from the letter level and progresses to the word, sentence level, paragraph, essay, and passage level as you work your way through the binder. Alright, my thank you page. Here's my contact page. I'm going to leave it there just for a minute so you can contact me in case you have any questions or concerns. Here's my new organization of the binder, and it has basically a suggested scope and sequence, or what we might call the pacing. The first section is just the overview of what's in the binder, how to get the most points possible. Week 1, and I changed colors each time there was a different skill or concept being discussed. Week 1 is all about penmanship, and that lasts about 20 pages or so. All year long, you want to make sure that every grade level works on spelling and vocabulary related ideas that you can incorporate into your spelling. That goes from, as you can see, page 28 all the way to page 106. The capitalization section, because capitalization is at the phrase level, you can do that during the first 6 weeks, and so it has all the rules and practice for each rule, one page, and then open-ended single sentence capitalization, daily editing and revising, what some of you used to call what's that saying, DOL, daily oral language, except it's written language here. During the second 6 weeks, there are the penmanship punctuation rules, and then practicing them along with open-ended single sentence. What I did on capitalization, spelling, sentences, punctuation, and usage was use actual students' sentences that they wrote on the STAR test as a guide. But for the third 6 weeks, you're going to want to practice usage, subject-verb agreement, and single sentence mixed multiple open-ended or multiple choice questions. You're basically doing it in STAR format, but you're only having to worry about one sentence, and that's for those kids that are not at the paragraph or passage level yet. Then it starts the revising section, going from the word choices to getting rid of off-limit words, special vocabulary games and activities you can do to build your kids' spelling and vocabulary. There's an open-ended section for sentence revising. Then this green section is all about open-ended and multiple choice editing and revising, but using student essays first. And then you have the full-length editing and revising passages written by me and a couple other people. Then this whole last section of the binder is the expository section, and I have several ideas in there for persuasive as well. Finally, because kids need a brain break, there's a section with little games and explanations of the games that you can do to kind of get your kids back to attention. There's the order forms for the materials if you like to order class sets of them, information about my Horns to Halo book, and my training information and questionnaire. Alright. Everything is based on what I call the pyramid of learning. The test is rigorous. But if you're wanting to have a 1 or 2 student gain per week, or if you have all year long, then you want to have a 1 or 2 students gain per month, then you've got to figure out which level of the pyramid your kids are on. If they can write, awesome. But if they can't, then you use their reading ability to teach them writing skills. You use their oral ability to teach them writing skills. And if you have to, in many cases, you'll have to come down to their visual, auditory, and kinesthetic ability. And the binder has all of those kind of activities. Before we get into the editing, revising, I went ahead and made a suggested order of teaching the process of writing. And as you see there, it says it may not coincide with timelines that are district related that emphasize quantity over quality. Because as you see here, this whole first 6 weeks, in fact 7 weeks, is just working on the process of one essay. And you don't start working on extra essays. As you see here on the bottom, it says I only recommend doing 1 essay per week from the 4-6 weeks and beyond if you want higher essay scores. And another suggestion is do the personal narrative in April and May after the writing test, especially with the fact that the results are not going well. All right, so imagine that you would, as you see here, in the second 6 weeks, you might do a couple of during the second 6 weeks, you would want about 3 to 5 weeks to make it through an essay. In the third 6 weeks, you would probably have an essay about every 2 weeks, and you'd see you're building quantity. An overview of what the STAR test is about for writing, editing, using cups, expository, or even persuasive, using my WWEE acronym. You see there all those things start with W's and E's. And the revising is coming down to adding, removing, replacing, moving things. Whenever the passage of revising is a story or some sort of narrative, I teach the kids how to act out the passage using the acronym Actors Remember More, or en español, Actores Recuerdan Más. In Spanish there, it would be agregar, añadir, remover, reemplazar, y mover. Finally, a reminder that when you write an essay, everything has to tie together. So if you think of the red light, green light concept, what is the topic? Red, 911. What is the idea that I'm going to use to write that topic? Meaning the central idea statement, controlling idea, position, or thesis. And the one they have to choose is the one that they'll be able to explain the most. All right, for 4th grade and 7th grade, editing is a big portion of the test. So us cops, meaning us students, have to be able to be our own little police to know everything that has to do with the editing portion. Each of those stand for something. U is for usage, subject verb agreement. S is for sentence boundaries, looking for run-ons or fragments. This is always the lowest performing area, so I've got an entire passage just for that. Capitalization, off-limit words, raising the vocabulary. Penmanship, which is important. Punctuation, and as you can see here, there's red punctuation for stopping the sentence, and yellow punctuation for just slowing the sentence down. And then becoming a good speller is a scaffolded sequence of events that takes place. You're going to teach them to see the words, to say the words, to pronounce them, to hear and listen to the pronunciation of the syllables, the sounds, to think in their brain, have I seen a word like this before? If I haven't, then I'm going to use another B, the book called a dictionary, or if I'm trying to raise my vocabulary, a thesaurus, which will finally end up in me being a better writer when it comes to spelling. Alright, so as I told you, the first section is penmanship. Lots of pages to practice penmanship. A couple of ones that I want to emphasize here that I think are really important. This one here is for kids who can't seem to keep their letters and punctuations in a confined space. A little bit of cursive practice there. When your kids are writing rough drafts, I highly recommend that you use the line paper with numbers. That way when you're working in groups or partners, you can quickly tell each other what line number you see a mistake. And of course you see the regular version of the star binder there. Commonly misspelled words. A whole section for homophones, where you look at the word itself, that's a homophone, and take a picture of it. Then a whole bunch of other homophones that you can use and practice, because the kids seem to struggle with those, because yes, the words sound the same, but since they look different, you don't know what to do. And so here's an entire section for spelling, open-ended. That's where the capitalization section starts. That would be the first 6 weeks. The punctuation section, the second 6 weeks. Then it gets into the run-ons and fragments, as you can see here. Usage, correct subject-verb agreement. And here is that single sentence multiple choice, where the kids can practice star format, but at the single sentence level, so they can get confident. On my next video, I'll take you into the revising section. Thank you guys, and God bless.